And we're back with the Opie and Anthony program. That was a quick break, huh? Broadcasting live from Washington, D.C. In studio, Al Franken, everyone. Sorry to make you wait. We had we had some broads in here.
We had some dames in here.
They call their show Broad-Minded, so we had a couple of the broads.
A little play on words because they're women.
I got it.
Broad-minded. Yeah. So, Mr. Franken, how are you?
I'm great.
Very good. You're quite the best-selling author these days.
I am quite the best-selling author.
Yes, people buying your books up like crazy. I think half the people that buy them love your point of view, and half hate it.
I think it's more two-thirds, third, but it'd be nice if half the people...
you think?
Well, actually, I get some people buying it who haven't decided yet, and that's nice, or who actually are curious, actually want to find out something.
I like reading things that get me angry.
Well,
a lot of times you read and just go, no!
Well, there's a lot of that in this book.
Is there?
Yeah.
A lot of people are starting to say that you're biased to the left.
Just a little.
Who are these people?
Little left.
And where are they? I want to talk to them.
Yeah.
A little left leaning.
It depends where you are.
But I mean, I've read some of O'Reilly's books.
Yeah, that'll make you mad.
And then Michael Moore's books.
Right.
And I'm equally as pissed reading either one because it's so far one side or the other that it cannot possibly be based in fact or truth. It is just ridiculous.
You know, mine are maybe different than anyone else's in that I have a particular thing about lies and the truth. So I do a tremendous amount of research, and also people on my shows or researching my book do it. So,
and at least there's some humor thrown in.
Yes. So those two things would distinguish it certainly from O'Reilly.
Yeah, where there is just a complete lack of humor.
Yeah, at least I'll make you laugh a little bit.
His private life is hysterical as all hell. That little problem he had with the phone calls.
Yeah, he did a good job making that go away. His ratings are just as strong.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he paid her off, so...
Yeah.
But didn't do anything.
He actually never denied it.
Yeah.
He never denied it.
But he never came forward and said that he did it.
No, but all he had to do was make a settlement.
Pay a lot of money.
And part of the settlement is that you never talk about it.
Can't talk about it. That sure sounds like you did it.
Yes, I would say. And she had what seemed like a transcript.
Yeah.
Of a thing, which,
leads me to believe there is a tape somewhere.
Which leads me to believe that's why he settled, but anyway, that's, what's interesting about him is that he talks a lot on his show about morals, and he talks about traditional values, his traditional values as opposed to,
we were part of that
secular leftist, and he keeps talking about his traditional values, and I don't know what is traditional about phone sex. I didn't think the phone had been around long enough to be maybe telegraph sex is a traditional value. But this is a guy, a married man, calling a female employee who doesn't want to be called, and making very, very filthy calls to her.
Yeah.
That's not a traditional value where it's
a lot harder.
My tradition.
It's a lot harder for the right to preach their agenda because they can come off looking hypocritical very easily by the life they lead, their personal life and stuff. It seems to me if you're more left-leaning, no matter what you do, you go, hey, it's part of the lifestyle, man.
Well, no. I mean,
fuck and suck and this, and it doesn't matter.
Is this on XM?
Yes.
I just figured that out.
Yeah.
No. Here's the I think it's you can be hypocritical wherever you are. If you can be hypocritical if you if you preach being an environmentalist and invest in litter. If you throw a can out the window.
I mean, more of a moral lifestyle thing. I think it's easier
but I mean, there's plenty of room for hypocrisy all over the place.
Yeah, hypocrisy, sure. Even liberals, of course, can come off looking very hypocritical.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that they have a lock on hypocrisy that the right does, but there is. I mean, obviously, look, there's Limbaugh, who for years when any drug addict would die, would say, "Just another dead doper.
Good riddance to you, sir."
Yeah. And anyone who uses drugs illegally should be put away, should be thrown in prison. And now, so and Bill Bennett likes to say, like, I never, wrote against gambling. Therefore, I'm not a hypocrite. And I said, well, no, of course you didn't, because you knew you were a gambler.
Why are you going to put yourself in that trap?
But you gambled away $8 million. There's something wrong with that.
It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Sure.
And by the way, your Empower America, whatever your group said, that did label gambling as one of the things that hurts society, and so you're a hypocrite, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, so
what?
None of us are perfect, right, guys? Huh? Right?
Can we all agree there? Is that a bipartisan agreement?
There we are. Let's not point. When you're pointing a finger at someone else, there's three fingers pointing back at you.
Pointing back
That's
at
right.
you.
Absolutely.
That's what I always say.
Who do you want to see as president next time around?
Are you for or against Bush?
How happy are you that he's not looking good at all these days?
I have to say that I don't take joy in our president doing badly, but it's great. He's just so many things are coming home to roost, and it is sad. It is sad that it has to happen because of people suffering in Katrina. I mean, this sort of opened everyone's eyes to how much cronyism there is, and how, after 4 years after 9/11, how we didn't get anything together. And Iraq. Now, there's a thing in the New York Times today saying he's going to.
The New York Times, what's that?
It's actual paper that you have on your on here.
We read the New York Post. See the difference in see the difference between you and us.
We don't read any articles without a picture.
Right. Not enough pictures in that one.
No picture on this one,
it's just too big to read.
It said he's scheduled to give a speech in Annapolis, Maryland on Wednesday, assessing progress both in Iraq and what he calls the broader war on terrorism. And several officials said he's expected to contend that the Iraqi forces have made great progress. Mm-hmm. Now, this is on the heels of a piece in the Atlantic Monthly by James Fallows, who we're having on our show today, which says that there's been no progress, or essentially no progress, and you just can't trust this guy. And I think that's what people are getting, is that, so if he goes out and says, we've made a lot of progress in building this Iraqi army, and we're going to be able to leave just in time for the 2006 election, midterms.
Yeah.
I don't trust him, and we're not going to cut and run. We're going to turn and tiptoe out.
Yeah, pull the old Vietnam.
Yeah, and it really worries me. I'm going over there actually next month. I do USO tours. Speaking of which, my wife asked me, she doesn't like me going. She says, you don't see O'Reilly going over to Iraq doing USO tours. And I say, honey, that's not fair. He has no talent. That's what I say to her.
That would dishearten the troops. He would just go there to bring morale down.
Yeah.
If they were too happy and chipper over there, then you send O'Reilly.
He's just a pompous ass.
Do you do the radio show there, or do you just stand up, or both?
I just do stand up. I do actually phone in from, but you don't know what your schedule's going to be. You can't do a scheduled radio.
Well, Jimmy did. He went over there.
Yeah, I went over there
a few times,
and we did like a week there in the end of 2003.
Where'd you go?
We were in Baghdad, Kirkuk, Talil, Balad. We couldn't land because the fog was too thick. So we spent 2 days in Baghdad, just a week.
Balad's Anaconda, that base.
I don't know. We went down. It was like 100 feet. They couldn't see the runway. We went back up. Had to fly. We hitched a ride with Ricardo Sanchez.
Oh well, then you're safe.
Yeah. Bunch of voice people, real men and me.
Real men and you.
Who are the other comics with you?
Colin and Laurie Kilmartin, who's the writer.
Great. Isn't it amazing doing it?
Yeah, I mean, the gigs are fantastic. The soldiers are happy. that you're there.
They're really happy you're there. They're really grateful that you show up.
Yeah, and you feel safe. I mean, you're surrounded by the U.S. military.
Right.
You feel... we didn't go, though. We flew only C-130s. We didn't have any Black Hawks.
I did Black Hawks, which made me nervous.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, I did... it's funny. After the first time, I went in 2003, and then I also went last year. But after I came back... I went around Christmas time, and in the spring, I was out in L.A. the Friday before Oscars, and Ariana Huffington invited me to this big Hollywood party.